There are standard spells one can use, Professor Holmes said. But, as with any spell, a witch is free to personalize it, embrace it as her own. I liked the emphasis on individuality in the coven. There didn't seem to be the idea that every witch was the same. It was nice. "Carry on, Millie," Professor Holmes said. Millie straightened her shoulders, as much as one could straighten shoulders when hunched over a broomstick. She muttered a phrase under her breath. Professor Holmes clapped his hands twice. "Louder, so we can all hear you. This is a learning exercise, remember?" Millie cleared her throat. "If I want to touch the sky, then I need to get up high." The broom began to rise. Millie's expression was serene. She clearly didn't suffer from the fear and anxiety that were my emotional staples. "How does the spell work without her wand?" I asked. Millie's broom stuttered to a halt. She turned to glare at me. "You need to stop interrupting," Begonia whispered. "It breaks her concentration." "Oops. Sorry," I said softly. Professor Holmes sighed. "Emma's question is a good one. We should answer it first. In the case of broom flying, the broomstick itself acts as your wand. Each stick is imbued with magic. The witch simply activates this magic by focusing her will and using an incantation." That made sense. Millie glanced over her shoulder at us. "Can I go now?" she huffed. Professor Holmes gave a crisp nod. Millie repeated the spell, focusing her will. I watched as the broom rose higher and higher. When she was high enough to clear the trees, she lurched forward. The longer she was up there, the faster she rode. I could see why she was the star pupil. Millie was a natural. The crucial element seemed to be that she enjoyed it. With her hair streaming behind her and the sun shining on her face, she was in her element. I felt a pang of envy. Why couldn't I embrace flying with the same fervor? "Well done, Millie," Professor Holmes called. I doubted Millie could hear him. She continued to zip around in the air until, finally, Professor Holmes sent her owl to intercept her. Now I understood why the owls attended broom practice. My spotted owl, Sedgwick, was with me. He was different from the other owls, which we discovered when I met him at Paws and Claws, the animal rescue center. Sedgwick was my familiar. It was a witch thing, apparently. The other witches in Spellbound had cats as companions and spiritual advisors, whereas I had a cantankerous owl. Lucky me. Millie came gliding down to the ground like a pro, and we all clapped heartily. I hoped my ride was as smooth as hers. Laurel, the youngest witch in our class, was next to ride, followed by Sophie. I'd assumed Sophie would be the problem pupil during broomstick training. She was clumsy on a good day. To my surprise, she took to the sky with ease. Maybe it was just her wand that gave her trouble. Since she didn't need a wand to ride a broom, she performed much better. My stomach clenched when I realized it was our turn. "Should I sit in front of Begonia or behind her?" I asked. I recalled amusement park rides where the bigger person had to sit in a certain position relative to the smaller one. Maybe it was like that. "You should probably start by sitting in front of your partner," Professor Holmes said. "That way she can keep you from slipping off." Slipping off? Those are not the words I wanted to hear before riding a broom hundreds of feet in the air. Begonia gently touched my shoulder. "Don't worry, Emma. Witches rarely slip off their broomstick." The use of the word rarely implied that they sometimes did. It didn't make me feel much better. "Don't be nervous," Begonia said. "I'll be right there with you." At least I trusted Begonia. Trust was important when someone was escorting you high in the air. Trust didn't stop me from vomiting, however. Begonia straddled the back of the broom and gestured for me to sit in front of her. I swallowed hard. "In case it becomes an issue," I said, "I would like a wake instead of a funeral. Lots of drinking and good food. And don't have it at Underkoffler's." Piotr Underkoffler was a creepy vampire